Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's another series of Lunch and Learn, another series in our podcast. And my name is Stanley. I'm an associate with Join Momentum, a BA actually. That's a business analytics associate with Join Momentum. And I want to start by saying if you have not seen any of our podcast, you may have missed a lot. And so I would urge you to get on Spotify, get on YouTube, and check out for some of our podcasts, all other ones that we have done in time past. Catch up with them. Very instructive, very, very, very educative. And these are presentations that would spiral your career journey into greater light. Today, I'll be talking about the power of predictive analytics. Yes, the power of predictive analytics. Before I go on, I also like to say once you catch up with us on any of the social media handles, especially YouTube, please subscribe, like, and share, and get other people in your community to be a part of this wonderful journey with Join Momentum, a place you can get the best training when it comes to tech. Thank you. Yeah, the power of predictive analytics. Before me is my presentation outline. First, we're going to be learning the meaning of predictive analytics and, of course, predictive analytics in various industries. We'll check out the benefits of predictive analytics. We'll look at the types of predictive analytics models, machine learning algorithms used in predictive analytics. Then we'll also look at potential ethical considerations, challenges in implementing predictive analytics. Also, we'll be looking at examples or real-world examples of implementing predictive analytics. Then, of course, we'll draw the curtain with conclusion and future of predictive analytics in business and society. I hope I won't take so much of your time, but whatever it is, just know that it's going to be worth your while, I promise. So, the power of predictive analytics. What exactly is predictive analytics? Well, I say that predictive analytics is the use of data, statistical algorithms, and machine learning techniques to identify the likelihood of future outcome based on historical data. It is transforming the way we use data in various industries. By industries, in our next slide, you see how this is used in various industries. But first, there are a few elements I'd like to talk about. It talks about historical data. Yeah, it talks about making with the likelihood of future outcomes based on historical data. It means that a company has a data, or a company is sourcing a data which you call some secondary data from outside its domain, and is using such to predict a future outcome. Either look at what price will be or what profit they can make. It's all about. From there, we move on to industries. How predictive analytics is used in various industries. In healthcare, for instance, predictive analytics enables doctors to better predict patient outcome by analyzing medical history, reducing readmission rates, and developing better healthcare. You want to say, how is this done? Well, predictive analytics can help reduce readmission rates in healthcare simply by identifying patients who are at a higher risk of readmission and enabling targeted interventions and proactive care. Early identification of high-risk patients. Predictive analytics models can identify patients who are at a higher risk of readmission even before they are discharged from the hospital. This is done by simply analyzing a combination of real-time data, that is presented or that is present with the hospital or with the doctor. When this real-time data are analyzed, you analyze their vital signs, there is lab results, and the patient reports symptoms. The models can flag patients who require additional support and follow-up care to prevent readmission. This is what happens in the healthcare, in hospitals. So when uh, sometimes when files are requested for, what the hospital is simply doing is analyzing patient's history, you know. But these days, with predictive analytics, it's simply something you can do by simply tracking a combination of those data, their vital signs, the lab result, and of course the patient reported symptoms. All of these are automated, and the models can predict whether this person is a high risk for readmission or not. For example, by analyzing historical market data as well and using predictive models, financial institutions can also forecast the performance of different asset classes. That's for the financial institution. Evaluate risk return trade-offs and determine the optimal risk of investment for a given portfolio. This enables more accurate portfolio management decision, aligning investment strategies with individual risk tolerances and return objectives. Along in the store, online and in-store shopping patterns can be analyzed to predict future customer trends, allowing retailers to make informed decisions about product lines and inventory management. Yes, online store, when you buy things online, the predictive analytics can be used to check your buying pattern. If you have a particular buying pattern, like you buy a particular set of goods, often with predictive analytics, you get notifications as to this line of products that you buy, because the algorithm is trained to check your pattern of buying and make prediction as to what you buy next, what you may decide to buy next. Those are the trends that the model follows to be able to predict your buying pattern. Even in store, when you buy, when you say you like some kind of carbonated drinks, maybe you combine them with chips, and there's an analysis as to how people buy this particular drink together with what they combine it with. It will inform the store manager or the store owners to put these two items side by side. So the moment you pick the drink, you're picking the chips or whatever goes hand in hand with it. They now put them together so that it's not far from each other. That's what predictive analytics can help in doing when it comes to in-store shopping. Predictive analytics allows for more accurate risk assessment that I just mentioned earlier, fraud detection and portfolio management in the finance industry. Predictive analytics can help detect fraud in the financial sector. How? You may want to, sometimes you may want to send a particular amount of money and the money is blocked from going through. That is because the algorithm is trained to check your pattern of making transfers. And so if this transfer is beyond your threshold, your normal threshold, or if the transfer is going to a new person that the algorithm or the model has not recognized for the first time, that sort of transfer may be stopped. And that is what predictive analytics can do. And so you get warnings like, are you sure that you want to make this transfer? Do you know this person you're making transfer to? Those are the kind of things predictive analytics helps you to do. In sports, teams are using predictive analytics, to gain advantage, or, and also to help prevent injury and for game strategy. We all know, those of us who watch sports, a lot of sports, either football or tennis, you see the coaches by the side, they are looking through a screen, or when they want to make a substitution, there's a screen and they begin to show patterns as to what the player should do when he gets on the pitch. That's what predictive analytics do. They can use it to predict what the next team will do probably in the first or the second half, or at any time, or even during the game. They can use predictive analytics models to predict what or how or the pattern of play that the next team is bringing. They can use predictive, coaches use predictive, or teams use predictive analytics to predict their own pattern of play as against the opponent's pattern of play. Predictive analytics to predict a player's ability to play or ability to sustain injury, during game time. So these are the things. Next, we'll be looking at the benefits of predictive analytics. Increase efficiency. Predictive analytics science operations, improve workflows, automate decision-making process, and reduce cost associated with manual processing. That's one key benefit of predictive analytics. It reduces cost associated with manual processes. And so when you bring all your processes, you automate all your processes and all your workflows, there's faster results. When there's faster results, there is cost saving, there is better efficiency, there is increased efficiency with regards to how work is done. Time is also reduced, and so when you reduce time, you channel that time to other tasks or to something. By examining patterns and making predictions, companies can reduce waste, identify areas of risk, and make more informed decisions that lead to significant cost savings. It says by examining patterns and making predictions. So predictive analytics helps you to be able to easily examine these patterns. You reduce the cost, either cost of employing persons to work, or cost of manual carrying here and there. These are identified, and these patterns are identified, and predictions are made based on these patterns that make it easy for organizations to automate their processes, form decisions, informed and quick decisions based on the identified patterns. Informed decision making. Predictive analytics provides companies with valuable insight that help executives make informed decisions with data-driven confidence, rather than subjecting themselves to manual thinking. But because there is data which is fed into a model, a trained model, and with a high percentage of accuracy, there's informed decision making. Decision making is transparent, is clear, is incisive, and the company, have no two ways to go but to grow, because are made quickly and more informed because it's from data. It's coming from a trained data. Improve growth. By consistently collecting and analyzing data, businesses can identify trends, track performance, and make informed decisions that lead to sustainable growth. Yes, consistently collecting and analyzing data. This is what companies need to do regularly, because decisions, like I said earlier, decisions made out of data analysis are the best decision for businesses today, not out of intuition, not out of a manual process, but out of a data-driven process. Once decisions are made, informed decisions, when decisions are made out of a data-driven process, those decisions are informed, they are clear, and they of course lead to sustainable growth. Types of predictive analytics model. We look at the linear model. Well, the linear regression model analyzes the relationship between dependent variables and one or more independent variables. By dependent variables, we and stay in the hospital, which is an independent variable. The dependent variables can be how many beds, or what the distance from the hospital to the patient's home, who are the people staying with the patient in the hospital. These are the determinant factors of a patient's length of stay in the hospital. So you look at the dependent variable and analyze it against the independent variable, analyze it against the dependent variables. And so that's how linear regression model works. With this, you get a percentage of which variable is closely related or has a higher degree of percentage in affecting the independent variable. And that variable is the one that you pick and say, okay, this is the better variable. And these models are trained to find which dependent variable is closely, has a closer or a higher percentage in relation to the independent variable. Those are the things that the kind of things that the model is trained to do, is trained to identify for businesses. We also look at the decision tree model. Decision tree model uses conditional statements. They use conditional statements to make predictions based on the values of different variables. When I say conditional statement, you can remember the if statement. If this is white, if apple is white, then we can eat it. If it's green, we can, those if statement. For example, a tree-based model that helps to analyze all possible solutions and outcomes of a decision. So when you have possible solutions, different possible solutions and outcomes, this decision tree model will help to analyze every one of it, every single possible solution, before coming to a conclusion as to the result of your analysis. With this, you start with the decision tree. Always starts with the node. They call it the decision node or the tree node. That's the starting point. Then it moves around all other possible solutions or outcomes, analyzing and tracking each one of them. By so doing, it brings out a result, from the one with the highest percentage, and that's the one managers makes decisions with. We have the neural model. This neural model is used in form of trains in form of the human brain. It says it's a deep learning model that mimics the human brain's ability to learn and adapt to new situation. When you say deep learning, it is part of a broader family of machine learning methods, which is based on artificial neural networks with representation learning. The adjective deep in deep learning refers to the use of multiple layers in the network. Methods used can be either supervised, semi-supervised, or unsupervised. Example can be found in retail stores, who use deep learning to identify buying patterns and set prices for their products. So you see retail stores with prices on their product. What they use is deep learning to be able to check buying pattern, to be able to the model is trained to think like the human brain, checking individuals, customers' buying pattern, and with these prices are set on products, and products are aligned on shelf based on how based on how customers choose these products, pick the products off the shelf. Now we look at the cluster model. The cluster model is a model that groups similar data points together based on shared characteristics. For example, an example I want to use is that of in product made out of, you look at biscuits, you look at cake, they have shared characteristics. So the cluster model clusters that together. You can look at drinks, carbonated drink, different type of it clusters them together. So decisions are made based on each cluster. That's how the cluster model is trained to work. Now we look at the machine learning algorithms used in predictive analytics. Number one is supervised learning, a type of machine learning algorithm that uses labeled data to find patterns and predict outcomes. It is defined by its use of labeled data sets to train algorithms to classify data or predict outcomes accurately. As input data is fed into the model, it adjusts its weight, its weight until the model has been fitted appropriately, which occurs as part of the cross-validation process. Supervised learning helps organizations solve for a variety of real-world problems at scale, such as classifying spam in a separate folder from your inbox. So for messages to be classified as spam in a separate folder, it is used. It's used. The use of supervised learning is what has made that possible. You see messages drop into your spam. You see others drop in your inbox. Supervised learning is what has been used to make that possible. Unsupervised learning, on the other hand, is a type of machine learning algorithm that clusters data based on similar characteristics without prior knowledge of the outcome. Just like we mentioned the clustering, that is what unsupervised learning does. Example you want to think of, when we were kids, we learn of things from our parents, but there is some information we get from our own experiences, by unconsciously identify patterns in our surroundings and applying them to new situations. In the world of artificial intelligence, that's how the unsupervised learning method works. We want to picture a toddler who sees and knows their family cat, what it looks like. That's provided they have one anyway. So if but has no idea that there is lots of other cats out there, in the world that are all different. These kids, this toddler only knows their cat, their own cat, but there's no idea of, if there's another cat out there. But the thing is, if the kid sees another cat, he or she will be able to recognize that this is a cat. Why? Because of the features that the cat he or she has at home, have. The cat has 2 ears, has 4 legs, has a tail, has a fur, then of course has whiskers. So the toddler is able to recognize that this is a cat. That's unsupervised learning. On his or her own, the toddler is able to learn and understand that this is a cat because I have one at home. In machine learning, this kind of prediction is called unsupervised learning. But when parents tell the child that the new animal is a cat, drum rolls, that's considered supervised learning. The child has learned by what the parent has told him or her. That is supervised learning. So what's the difference between supervised and unsupervised? I'll quickly go through that. The key difference is that supervised learning, in supervised learning, a model learns to predict outcome based on the labeled data set, meaning it already contains the example of correct answers carefully mapped out by human supervisors. Right. Whereas in unsupervised learning, on the other hand, unsupervised learning implies that a model swims in the ocean of unlabeled input data. Just like the example I gave of a toddler who is trying to make sense of the cat is a cat. So that's unsupervised. There's no labeling. There's nobody giving answers. But the child is able to say, okay, I recognize this. This is a cat. That is the major difference between supervised and unsupervised learning. The labeling of the data set. Reinforcement learning, a type of machine learning algorithm that improves through trial and error and learns from, and from rewards. Reinforcement. In reinforcement, we want to imagine a race car, which is concerned with trying to find the fastest lap around the track. The software applies reinforcement learning to find the optimal sequence of steering, brake, and gas that gets the fastest lap. The historical data is to configure the simulation. The brains of the autonomous car make decisions every millisecond, where the decision consists of a steering, brake, or acceleration input. The reward or objective for the autonomous system is the lap time, and it is delayed in time from the decision. So with reinforcement learning, it is an issue, a matter of trial and error, because the features from the example I just gave of a race car are the steering, the brake, and of course the car. These can fail, and it may not also fail. So you try with the steering, with the brakes and the gas, the speed is there, and the lap time is what is checked. And it says that the reward objective autonomous system is the lap time. how fast was the car. And so in race car, Formula One, for instance, they have what they have their test drives. And so during test, how fast was the Mercedes car, for instance? How fast was the other cars, for instance? So that's how fast is the reward of this test driving, this reinforcement. And so with reinforcement learning is trial and error. And of course, there's a reward at the end of these trials, which with the example I just gave is the lap time. Which car was the fastest? That car that was the fastest during test, when it comes to the actual race, the car would go and take the first grid, and the next at the fastest will be the second car, and just down like that to the last car. So that's how they get their reward. And of course, during the actual race, you can see that anything could happen. There could be an accident, there could be a tire burst, the steering wheel can malfunction, the brake can malfunction, and at the end of the day, somebody comes out winning, either McLaren or whoever it is, or Mercedes. Somebody comes out, and that is the reward, the lap time. All right, potential ethical considerations with the use of predictive analytics. We have the privacy concerns, we have implicit bias, transparency, of course, accountability, privacy concerns. People want privacy with their data, and companies must ensure that people's data are protected. Then implicit bias, what you feed into the models is what they work with, and this data has to be as clean as possible and as unbiased as possible. Transparency, the data has to come, the model, the algorithm, they have to be as truthful as they can be. And of course, accountability, companies must be accountable for the data they use. What challenges do we face when we use predictive analytics? Data quality. The data has to be clean. The data has to be accurate. The data has to make accurate predictions, so that companies, must prioritize data quality control and invest in data governance programs as well. Expertise. There are not too many people who understand predictive analytics model, and so there has to be training. Companies have to train people to have this expertise. Legacy systems. There are not too many systems as well that are in companies that are trained to use predictive or work on predictive models, and so there has to be upgrade of systems or investment in new system. Then of course, change management. Change is one fundamental thing that is difficult for people to imbibe. So training, retraining, so that when you introduce predictive analytics, it will be accepted in companies. Real world examples, Airbnb, that is into accommodation, giving accommodation, looking for people to match with accommodation. They use predictive analytics to find accommodation and match people with such accommodation that they want. There's Target. Target is famous retail company in the US. There was an example of Target sending pregnancy kits to a lady. The father went to the store, but finally discovered that Target was able to understand that the daughter was pregnant even before he could find out. So because of the search pattern of the daughter, Target was able to notify the girl of the kind of products that she needed as a pregnant person. Netflix is the most popular one. This one we know, your viewing habits, your film viewing habit, the type of movies you watch. Netflix will use that algorithm to notify you of new movies in the line of your search. And of course, Capital One, which is a credit card company in America, also uses predictive analytics to issue their cards and advise customers on the use of their product. Of course, here we come to the last slide, which is about conclusion and future of predictive analytics. Continued growth. Predictive analytics is here to stay and will increasingly become a cornerstone of business decision making across all industries. Yes, it is here to stay, and all industries just have to, imbibe predictive analytics. Ethical consideration. As predictive analytics become more widespread, there is a growing need for companies to be ethical in their use of data and consider the potential impact of their decision on individuals and society as a whole. Yeah, we advocate for this. Data must be protected. People's data must be protected in line with the laws, guiding them. Opportunities for the future. Predictive analytics has the power to transform businesses and society for the better by providing valuable insight, increasing efficiency and cost savings, and empowering data-driven decision. There's so much opportunity, so much when it comes to even employment, and it comes to job opportunities, when it comes to the use of predictive analytics. There is so much opportunity for the future. All individuals need to do is to get training, and that's why Joy Momentum is here. So the opportunity is huge, the market is huge. Just get trained, and that's why we're calling you to join the training Joy Momentum, and you will never remain the same when you do that. This is it for me. You have questions, drop it there and we'll attend to them as the series unfold. Thank you.
Tired of learning job skills from textbooks? Meet Job Simulator AI. We've built the first AI platform that lets you practice real jobs in a safe, virtual environment. It's like a flight simulator, but for careers. Practice real jobs, get real proof, build a portfolio of completed simulations, earn performance badges inspired by industry leaders, showcase verified skills to employers, get instant AI feedback on your progress. For educational institutions, be among the first schools and universities to give your students practical job experience before graduation. Limited early access spots available. For businesses, sponsor industry-specific simulations to showcase your brand. Build a pipeline of practice-ready talent. Connect with candidates who excel in your simulations. Transform employee training and reduce onboarding time. For training providers, add hands-on practice to your existing courses. Differentiate your offering with AI-powered simulations. Give learners verifiable proof of practical skills. Scale your training impact globally. For students and job seekers, stop wondering if you're ready for that dream job. Start practicing it today. Join our early access waitlist. Ready to revolutionize job training? Sign up for early access at www.jobsimulator.ai. The future of work is hands-on. Don't just learn it, leave it.
Join Momentum Learning and Development Squad have rolled out practical work experience simulation programs and scenario-based learning on a new platform called the Growth Academy.
At the Growth Academy, you will engage in real-world simulations and complete scenario-based tasks at your own pace, which are all inspired by global brands.
With consistent practice and support, our participants gain invaluable experiences across multiple disciplines such as product management, data science, project planning, business analysis, virtual assistant, business development, technical sales, cybersecurity, and many more.
The Growth Academy programs come with AI-powered evaluations. You will receive detailed feedback assessment directly to your inbox, guiding your skill development and areas of improvement. You can also showcase your new skills expertise by ordering digital certificates, which are perfect for demonstrating your competency to employers or clients.
You will also become part of a dynamic community of professionals, sharing knowledge and supporting each other on the path to success. And we empower you to step up as a leader, coach, by reselling any of our programs as your own and earn instant income while helping others grow in their careers.
Start your journey today at www.thegrowthacademy.co.uk.